Hi guys! How's it going? So today's video is going to be about getting my nipples re-pierced. Whew! And let me tell you, it actually wasn't as bad as the first one, or the first time getting them done. So in my first video I had the 50 facts about me. Sorry, my nose itches. And I have had 14 piercings total, so really quick before we go into this video, I'm just going to go through those really quick. So I obviously have my septum, or bull ring as some people like to call it, done. I have my cartilage, which I got pierced when I was 14, 15 years old, right before my freshman year of high school, and my friend actually did it for me. I obviously have my ears pierced. I used to have 4 on this side and then 2 on this side. Only have 1 in right now. I also had my Monroe, which is, right above your lip. You can do it on either side. I also had my lip pierced, and then my tongue, and then my top and bottom belly button, and my nipples. So, my freshman year of college, when 2015, it was in 2015 when I got my nipples done. So how the story goes that I got my nipples pierced the first time is, so I had gotten pretty intoxicated for 3 weekends in a row and did a lot of wild things. So I had made a bet with some of my friends, that I wouldn't drink until Ferris Fest, which was 2 months away, and I was like, okay, 8 weekends, totally got this. Which, in between that time, I got them done in February, so St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day weekend, all that stuff would have been in that time. And I had 2 groups of friends at college. I had my group of friends I hung out with, my roommate and some of my hallmates, and then I had my rugby friends. And I made this bet with my group of friends that I'd go out with my hallmates and roommates. And they were like, okay, well, you're always with your rugby people on the weekends, because that's who I always went out with. How are we going to know if you drink or not? So I sent in the group message that I was in this bet, that I can't drink, and that if I do drink, I have to get my nipples pierced. Originally, they wanted me to get a tattoo, so they didn't know what kind of tattoo, and I said, unless you're paying for it, because tattoos are a little expensive. So we decided on my nipples. I had gone 2.5 weeks without drinking, and then we're going to call him Adam. It was Adam's 21st birthday, and everyone at this party knew about the bet. And they were like, okay, Jess, Adam's like, it's my 21st birthday, you have to drink with me, come on, Jess, just one time. And I said, no, I'm in this bet. And at that point, I'd already contemplated getting my nipples pierced, because I kind of wanted them done. I had a few friends that had them, and they absolutely loved them. I did a lot of research into it. And then he was like, well, I will give you a free cup. So when you typically go to college parties that have any kind of kegs or jungle juice that they're offering to people, you pay $5 a cup. So he's like, well, I'll give you a free cup. You can have all the keg beer and jungle juice that you would like. And I love jungle juice. So I ended up getting my nipples pierced that next Wednesday. And little fun fact, I went with 2 of my rugby brothers and then my roommate. And I ended up passing out the first time afterwards. So I had the clamp on my left nipple for about 45 minutes because I was so nervous. And it hurt. It was probably on a scale of 1 to 10, about a 7. So it wasn't too horrible. The second one actually hurt a lot worse because all the adrenaline goes out on the first one. You're like, hey, it's not bad. You're not thinking too much highly of it anymore. And then the second one hurts like a bitch. So afterwards, they felt really sore afterwards for about the 4 hours that I was up, because I got it done after all my classes. And then I woke up the next day, didn't hurt at all, never had a problem. When it comes to nipple piercings, because they're always rubbing against your bra, it is natural for them to be crusty sometimes. Just the healing process, they do ooze a little bit, pus, but it's not an infection necessarily. So about 2 months ago, I was wearing a robe, and I went to stand up or adjust myself, and the like inside string to like tie the robe closed or keep it closed hooked onto my nipple, or my right one, hooked onto my nipple, and it obviously hurt a little bit, and I looked down and my nipple ring was half ripped out. It didn't hurt as bad as I expected it to be, but I definitely was really lightheaded afterwards and had to like sit down. I was icing my boob. Instantly the next day I had gone into my piercer, a piercer out here in New York, because obviously I can't just drive back to Michigan for a piercing, and I couldn't like get the ball unscrewed. And sometimes when a nipple ring rips out, if it's not horrible, they'll tell you to keep it in, because sometimes taking jewelry out when it's infected, rips out, or something isn't right, it's actually worse to take the jewelry out. I always suggest to go to a piercer for professional advice. And he was like, yeah, we have to take it out. It was pretty disgusting. So I took it out, and I talked to him about getting him re-pierced, and I guess the piercer that I had originally gone with had pierced them a little bit too high. That's why it didn't hurt as bad when it ripped out, because there wasn't much to tug out. So he wanted to pierce them down more, not necessarily in the areola, but where they're supposed to be pierced. So I had taken out my other one, just because when I want to pierce them, I wanted them to be symmetrical. And it's 2 months later, and I had gone back to this piercer. They're finally healed up. Not bad. I was really nervous, but really excited, because I'd had my nipple piercings for 2 years and then didn't have them. Made me feel really self-conscious about them, or about my breast. So this past Saturday, the 18th, I had gone in with my good friend Brett, and I was super nervous, and it actually wasn't as bad as what I thought. So I went in, he put the dots, he marked them, made sure I, liked where they were going to be. And on a pain scale, compared to the first time that I had them, the right one, piercings are going to hurt in general. It's a needle going through your skin, but it really wasn't that bad. It was probably more of a, 4 or 5 on a scale 1 to 10 for pain-wise. The left one did hurt a little bit more, because there was a little more scar tissue there that he did, touch a little bit. And it didn't necessarily suck, but the afterwards, I got him done in early afternoon, so all day my boob or breast just hurt so bad. I was holding, cold water bottle to it, and it wasn't, the after pain is probably a little bit higher on the pain scale compared to actually getting them done. And then woke up the next day, hadn't really had an issue. Obviously, they're a little bit tender. They're still healing. When I clean my piercings, you're not supposed to twist them or move them much, but when I do, it does bleed a little bit, so it's not too bad. They're healing really nicely. They don't hurt that bad, except for when, I have to clean them out. They take about 6 months to fully heal, and the process isn't too bad. You definitely don't want to be playing with them a lot. And then as far as if you are in a relationship and whatnot, you try to have your significant other, not mess with them a lot, because, bacteria from your, spit, or, whatever you and your significant other decide to do, it is suggested to not play with them that much, according to the piercer. Also, I am not a professional. This is just my personal experience. Probably should have said that in the beginning of the video. So don't take anything I say as, 100% correct, or, every body is different, so you may heal differently. Your pain tolerance could be different. This is just, what I went through personally. So it wasn't too bad. Overall, I'm really excited to see them heal. My jewelry is titanium, and they have cute little opals on them. One thing about going to piercers as well, on my Snapchat, I kind of talked about this a little bit, is that when you go to a piercer, please, please, please make sure that they actually have good quality jewelry, that, they're pretty reputable. I can never say that word. But, you want your piercer to be good. I'm not bashing on college town piercers or piercings, but just from personal experience and, you know, from talking to my piercers, that sometimes they tend to get cheaper jewelry, or, you know, it's a college town. I have had good piercings and bad piercings. Getting piercings in my college town, that's actually where I got most of my piercings, was back in my where I went to school at. And yeah, so that's just like an overall view of my nipples getting re-pierced. I will keep you guys updated if you want to know, if you want to ask about any other piercings. Tongue, I know, is a really popular one that people have questions about, so make sure you subscribe and put anything in the comments below. Any problems you have with your nipple piercings. I personally don't have that many, except for you really want to be careful with towels and loofahs because they will snag. Seatbelts, holy moly, I hate wearing a seatbelt sometimes, because if I'm wearing like a sports bra and it like catches a little like corner of it, it does hurt. I tend to notice that like when I'm not paying attention to things and like the slightest thing will make it hurt. Like I'll just lean over a counter and I'll just barely brush my nipple over the like edge of the counter and it'll hurt so bad. But yeah, tell me what you guys think. Comment and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. My days off are typically on Tuesdays, and my roommate works a double, so Tuesdays are probably going to be my days that I choose to upload, and I hope to see you guys next week. Bye!